সুপ্রিয় দর্শক সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি টিভিএন24 আয়োজিত নিয়মিত অনুষ্ঠান টিভিএন অ্যানালিসিস অনুষ্ঠানে। আমি হাবিব রহমান আছি আপনাদের সাথে। আশা করি আপনারা সবাই ভালো আছেন এবং অনুষ্ঠানটি দেখছেন। যারা অনলাইনে দেখছেন তারা তো দেখছেনই, তারা পরবর্তীতে দেখবেন, তাদেরকেও স্বাগত জানিয়ে রাখছি। আজকের অনুষ্ঠানটি বেশ কিছু গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয় আমরা আলোচনা করব। বিগ বিউটিফুল বিলের আন্ডারে ট্যাক্স রিফান্ড শুরু হয়ে গেছে এবং অনেকেই lot of people are getting big tax refund, some are not. So reality versus fiction, we'll talk about this today. এবং আমরা একদম পরিষ্কার থাকবো, we'll be blunt about this, okay? SBA লোন যারা নিয়েছেন তারা অনেকে পেমেন্ট করেননি, এখন করছেন, তারা নতুন করে চিঠি পাচ্ছেন। এটির ব্যাপারটা কি, হোম ওনার্স কেন রিফান্ড অনেকে ঠিক মতো পাচ্ছেন না, অনেকে পাচ্ছেন, স্মল বিজনেস, উবার, we'll talk about everything আজকে। and এই সমস্ত বিষয়ে কথা বলার জন্য আজকে স্টুডিওতে join me Michael Mutazdi,
thank you,
CPA, and a lot of things we're going to talk. So I know one of the things we're going to talk about is fact versus reality,
right?
And we're going to fact check one thing. In the beginning, just to burst the bubble, a lot of people are hoping. I don't feel good. I would feel much better if that was true. There is a viral thing going on the internet that everybody is going to get $2,000 refund.
Yes, that's not true.
I want to hear from you. So
that's not true.
Okay, it's not. First of all, it's not
100% not true.
So
right
what is this and why this is a matter?
But it's just like the other with Trump's tariff refund, the $5,000 Dodge, whatever that was.
Okay, so you brought in two things. I almost forgot. One is $5,000 Dodge refund, and there is tariff refund.
Yes.
So the Dodge, we don't know where it is. We know where Elon Musk is, but we don't know where the Dodge refund is.
He's building robots now,
he's busy with the Space Act, right?
Look, all this stuff has to get voted on. Nothing's got voted on. Doesn't even basically, in your minds, it should not even exist.
Correct. If you guys are still waiting and hoping that there will be tariff refund, the Supreme Court struck it down.
Yes.
All right. 70% of the Trump tariff is gone. The blanket tariff.
It's not happening.
Right. So, and by the way, the people who are going, not people, the institution who will get the refund are the ones corporation. Meaning you and I, we're screwed. Because
yes, correct. If you look at how much Apple paid in tariffs, they're going to try to go after a massive refund. Things like
correct. We paid the hyped price because of the tariff. We are consumers, but the refund will go to the corporations.
That's correct.
So we are screwed either way, right? Thanks, Trump. Can I say that? Okay, let's go back to our tax talk. Okay, now tax. When we're talking about tax, the first thing that I want to talk about, and let's be blunt, is this is supposed to be a big refund year, and you and I we talked about that too a lot, right? Now, why are some taxpayers feeling shortchanged, and who's got it wrong?
Look, no, the refunds are definitely bigger this year. Okay.
Okay.
They're 100 times bigger than they usually are. Okay, because like I just did some ones today, and over 70,000 refund. So
are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's for the record.
So you did somebody's on the record. You are on the record. You know you're live. You are on live TV.
The person he's watching now too.
He's watching. He's probably happy.
He's very happy. Wouldn't you be?
I mean, I would be flying.
Well, there you go.
Exactly. But 70,000, unheard of, unreal, doesn't sound. So what are the factors that work for this group of people, I would say, and as opposed to people who are expecting but getting disappointed?
Look, I wouldn't say anyone's really being disappointed, right? It's really not. That's not the case.
Okay.
Okay. Or you're just going to the wrong person or something like that, right? But everything is in our favor this year. All the stuff
everything is in our favor.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Look, the overtime, our favor. The tips, huge for all the restaurant workers, right? I mean, the things they've never seen before, right? And this is not just happening in just 1 year. This is going to be for a while.
This is going to be for a while. This is not just 2026.
That's correct.
I'm going to touch on that because if you plan properly, I'm coming back to you. Let's finish that.
Yeah, you should get paid on tips.
I can hope for it.
That's right.
There's no hard feelings.
Look, this year everyone's getting the refunds are bigger. Look, the child tax credit's bigger, right? It's not tremendously bigger, but even just the child tax credit being $200 extra this year, you should be able to. Your refund should be bigger this year.
Okay, so we have been talking about this. The refunds are bigger. Even before it started, you started saying that, hey, refunds are bigger this year.
Absolutely.
Given that you planned properly. That's
Correct.
one thing you have been saying it. Now, the other thing is we are really seeing that refunds are bigger.
Correct.
Right? Now, the question is, who's got it wrong? The one that are saying, hey, I went there with a big hope, but I'm not getting it. Why?
Look, most likely it's maybe how you're getting paid, what is your income level, everything's so, everything, not every person has the same exact situation, right? Some people got home care, right? That's where the biggest refunds are this year, guys.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the home care too.
That's a
huge one.
I would tell you is 80%, right?
80%.
And you got the other one is the overtime, and you guys got to be extremely, extremely careful with the overtime. Okay? Let me touch this point.
Yes.
Okay? If you go to somebody and they say, oh, well, how much was in overtime? They put that exact number in, that's wrong. All right? It's not that. It's a little complicated calculation. Their tax software doesn't do it. They got to do it manually. Okay? Because you're not getting the full overtime. You're only getting the half of the 1.5 times.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting $10,000,
for layman's term.
So if my overtime says $10,000, right? Obviously, I'm only supposed to be writing off almost a third of that. Okay, it's not the whole thing.
So I would say $3,000.
Correct.
Give or take.
Right, but most of these people are putting in $10,000.
So what happens when
So once we're going to find out next year.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. That's why I'm bringing it up now. If you don't see the person doing the calculation, okay, I just walk out of office.
Okay, so I just want to break this down to people who are listening. So, Michael Motajiদি যেটি বলছেন, two things. প্রথম কথা যেটি আমরা একটু হাসির ছলে, ঠাট্টার ছলে যে কথাটি বলছিলাম যে $2,000 রিফান্ড চেক পাচ্ছেন অনেকেই, এইটি ইন্টারনেটে ইটস গোয়িং ভাইরাল, একেবারে ভাইরাল। আমি নিজে চেক করে দেখেছি, আমি এটির কোনো সত্যতা পাইনি। I could not find it truthfully. I could not find a source that says yes, এটা সত্য, এরকম কিছুই আমি পাইনি। I asked Michael Motajiদি and he also confirmed that no, this is a hoax or people are making things up. That is not true. এটা সত্য নয়। কাজেই আপনারা এই ট্র্যাপে পড়বেন না। যারা এটি করছেন আমি তাদেরকে বলবো প্লিজ আপনারা যখন এই ধরনের ভিডিও বা সোর্স আপনারা দিবেন বাইরে, ডাবল চেক ইউর সোর্স, মেক শিওর যে আপনি বুঝতে পারছেন আপনি কি বলছেন। এবং যারা এটি করেছে তাদের এই টেলিভিশন মাধ্যমকে আমি চিনি না, অর্থাৎ একেবারেই আনকোরা। কাজেই আমি জানি অনেকেই আশা করছেন, কিন্তু ইটস নট ট্রু। What is true is Trump's $1,000 tax, and some of the banks are there saying they're going to put in, like JP Morgan, put in stuff. Let's explain that a little bit.
Well, I mean, look, there's a couple different things. I mean, especially with Dell has a program now too.
Yeah, Dell also has a program, right?
Yeah. But it's all contributing to the Trump account.
Trump account, yes.
Okay, and it's only for eligible people, and it's only for his first 25. Like Dell's his first 25 million.
Yeah.
They'll put money in.
First 25 million.
And it has to be in the low-income areas.
Yeah, so you have to be under certain threshold.
Correct.
Okay, so that's one. JP Morgan also doing something similar.
They're all trying to, for their own charitable contributions, doing something similar. But why are they doing it? It's real simple, right? People are just not saving enough. That's at the end of the day.
Yeah, the savings are down, credit card usages are up.
Correct.
We are seeing those reports and numbers.
Yeah, exactly. The banks are using it as a write-off, right? But at the end of the day, it's because people who are retiring just don't have enough savings.
Right. So people who are born last year, basically, who are getting $1,000 tax, $1,000 from Trump, and JP Morgan institutions like JP Morgan and Dell, they're saying we are going to put in another $1,000. So I know when we talked about this in our last episode, you said whoever is coming, I'm just opening
I'm opening it up.
Blank account, right? So that if something happens next year,
who's going to say no to $1,000?
Right, $1,000 for nothing,
right?
Free,
of course.
Okay,
and it's growing for basically tax-free too.
Going back to my first topic, fact versus reality, right? So you're saying people are misunderstanding the tax system, or are the payroll withholdings simply not being calculated properly?
No. So what's really going on is, it's always know thy client, right? So you need to understand that. Like I always ask my clients, hey, on every single W-2 I get, did you get overtime? If the answer is yes, then I say, give me your last pay stub. Because not on all the W-2s, some list overtime, some don't, right? Even the city of New York got it wrong.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, the system was not set up.
Well, City of New York has a whole thing for the city employees. Oh yeah, go to this and here's your overtime. That's the wrong overtime.
Yeah, because they're taking the entire thing.
Exactly.
Right. And that's a red flag for IRS.
Correct.
And you are going to be...
there's going to be a lot of letters going left and right, anyone who's doing it incorrectly.
This year or coming year?
Probably
right after the tax season.
I think so.
So
they can't believe everybody.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I mean, and that's this. It's a new thing. There will be some, people who take advantage of it or try to, but will eventually be flagged.
Exactly.
And the people who actually are careful will be really on the safe side.
Correct. Exactly. And look, they're going to always when you put together a W-2, an employer puts a W-2 together, right, and what gets actually e-filed to the IRS, if they put the overtime on it, it's actually on there. So IRS isn't not even going to question you.
Okay.
Okay.
While we're on this topic, Mohammed Imaduddin Talukdar, he's saying, hey, could you clearly, clarify that how overtime exclusion works? And he gives us an example. He says, if I earned $30,000 in overtime, how much of that I can exclude or claim for tax purposes? Would it be $1,000 or is it going to be maximum $25,000? Please explain.
So it's not going to be 25. If you earn 30,000, right? So your half, right? Your 1.5 would be close to 10,000. But it's not a simple formula dividing over 3. You have to take your current rate, where your current rate is. You have to times that by times 1.5, and the spread between the two, and times the hours you worked. That is actually what you can write off. Okay. So and up to 25,000 of that is excludable. So,
Mr. Talukdar, I hope you...
As I said, it's a complicated
process. Don't do it yourself. It's not do it yourself kind of thing. This year's tax is very complex. It's bringing in big refunds. It also bringing in high risk.
Correct.
So
you have to know and go into the person that knows what they're doing.
Okay. Would you like to take a call? Let's take a call. Okay. কে আছেন ফোনে আমাদের সাথে?
জি, আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়া আলাইকুম সালাম, বলুন।
জি, আমি নেক্সট ইয়ারের ট্যাক্স ফাইল করছিলাম 2024 এর ট্যাক্স ফাইল।
আচ্ছা।
বাট আমি স্টেটের টাকাটা পাইছি, ফেডারেল টাকা এখনো পাই নাই। এই বছরের ট্যাক্স ফাইল এখনো করিনি। এখন করণীয়টা কি?
আচ্ছা, আপনি 2024 যে ট্যাক্স ফাইলটা করেছিলেন, ফেডারেলটা এখনো পাননি, স্টেটটা পেয়ে গেছেন। এখন 2025 এটা এখনো করেননি।
পর একটা লেটার আসছে আমার কাছে। চারটা লেটার আসছে 60 ডে পর। এখন আর লেটারটা আসছে নাই।
কি বলে লেটারে?
এখানে লেখা যারা টাইম দিতেছে ভেরিফাই করবে।
তারা কি করবে?
ভেরিফাই করতেছে।
ভেরিফাই করতেছে। ওকে, সো আপনাকে আশ্বাস দিচ্ছেন তারা আর কি বেসিক্যালি। ঠিক আছে, বুঝতে পেরেছি। আপনাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। You understand the question. He filed taxes 2024 and then he got the state taxes but he never received the federal taxes.
Because they want a verification.
So he's receiving every 7 days a letter saying we are verifying you, blah blah. Please explain.
So look, that they're just buying themselves time. They usually give you 68 letters and they'll say we're still looking into it, right? Something's not adding up, or either an employer's filing something that's not the paper they gave you. Everybody's case is different, but it shouldn't be like clockwork like that. So it's something that this is the time I would start, talking with the IRS and figuring out really what's going on.
Okay, so now that's what's happening, and he didn't file the taxes 2025 as of yet. Do you want to tell him anything?
Yeah, I mean, look, I would. You don't want to have you don't have the same issue in 25 as you have in 24. You have to solve that first, and that's what I'm saying to you. Now is the time to talk with the IRS and figure out what's not matching up.
Right. So should he just go ahead and file it or not?
No, I would wait and see what's going on first, because if you have the problem in 24, you're going to have the problem in 25.
Right. So আপনি যিনি কল করেছিলেন, আপনি 25 এখনো ফাইল করেননি, আপনাকে একটু ধৈর্য ধরতে হবে, ফাইল করেন না, কারণ আপনি একটা লেটার পাবেন যেটা ক্লারিফাই করবে যে আপনার সমস্যাটা কোথায়। সেই সমস্যাটা নিয়েই যদি 2025 ফাইল করে দেন, তাহলে কিন্তু সমস্যাটা আপনি আরো বাড়ালেন, কমালেন না। কাজে একটু পেশেন্স রাখতে হবে, একজন ভালো সিপিএর সাথে আপনি বসবেন, এনিবডি, ওকে, আপনার প্রেফারেন্স যার কাছে থাকুক, আপনি বসবেন। নাও, going back to these things, the refund, smaller and bigger, isn't it true that smaller refunds sometimes mean a better tax planning, yet people still see it as a loss? Who should we really blame here?
So look, if you're on a W-2, right, if your refund is smaller and you took advantage of everything, we've been speaking about, so what happens with that, right? That means the money's been in your pocket the whole time, right? So it's either pay me now, pay me later. Right? But some people rather the government save for them. But remember, if the government's saving for you, you're not getting any type of interest rate.
Okay, so if this is the case, what would you suggest them?
I mean, look, if I was on a W-2, I'd rather my refund be the smallest possible because that means all year I had the money. Whole year I had it in my pocket.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
The whole year. So I have all the money. I can make the decisions I want to do for me and my family.
Okay, so I'm going to go into from homeowners. We're going to talk about the homeowners. We're going to talk about the small business owners. The small business owners who are trying to maximize their deduction while staying audit safe. We touched on this last time, but we got some answer from you. Do you have anything to say before we get into those questions?
No, let's go.
No. Do you have anything to say about this topic?
Oh, yeah, of course. Look, especially with the Schedule Cs, and especially Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, right? You got to take advantage of everything. If you bought a new car this year, you got to let the person who's doing taxes know. Have your insurance ready. Have everything you think of. I always tell everyone, give me a list of everything, and I'll say what we're going to use and what we're not going to use. You know, that's mostly important instead of me pulling information directly from my clients.
Yeah, so I hope everybody understands what you're saying, because this is really, really important. And that's where, sometimes we are disappointed, but it's not a disappointment. Rather, it's probably what you're entitled to get, and you're probably doing things right.
Right, but there's a lot of people that, like, the new clients I have every year that say, oh, I didn't know I could write that up. No one told me. And it could be a very simple thing, you know? It could be, hey, I paid for the tolls coming back. Yeah, Uber and Lyft didn't pay for those tolls. I did, right? That's deductible.
Okay, so I'm going to go to another concern that we have been noticing, and a lot of people actually contacted me. I spoke with you briefly about this one, which is there are another growing concern, SBA loan notices.
Yes.
Okay, so many small business owners who really fell behind during tough times recently, and now back on payments again, meaning they didn't pay for 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, and now they say, okay, you know what, now I'm going to start paying, and they started paying, and the SBA is taking that, right? But they're getting this notice. They're receiving this official letters or emails saying from the portal saying that, hey, such and such, your case is referred to this and that, and they're not sure what it means. So my question to you, for these people, is it a warning sign? They should be considering it seriously? Or is it a collection step just or a routine communication?
No. Once it gets cross-serviced where Treasury's taking care of this, that's actually, it's past a warning, okay? We can't get it back into the SBA, right? So now we have to deal with the Treasury. And that's where the problem, and I've seen too, a lot of people have been coming to my office with these letters, right? We can't get it, we used to be able to get it back into the SBA. That road has totally closed now.
So you for whatever reason you could not pay. Now it started paying.
They won't take, the SBA won't take the payments. Once it goes into Treasury, SBA will stop taking your payment.
But what?
There's no way for Treasury to have your loan and SBA to take your payment.
Okay, let's take one step at a time.
Go.
So it goes to the Treasury. What happens then, and what would be your or someone's step in this scenario?
So if it goes to Treasury, that's the worst step because that means they can go after anything you own.
Okay.
All right? It's like owing the IRS money.
So how do you actually ratify these things?
So you have to talk directly with the Treasury. You can make a payment plan, right? But the problem is once it goes into Treasury, it's no longer 30 years, right? They want 10 years. Okay. So imagine you couldn't make the payment over 30 years, right? Imagine trying to make it over 10.
Right.
So what happens now, right? You know you're going to default on it. They're going to take all your tax refunds to offset it, right? And if they figure out there's some fraud involved, they bought a house, did something with it, they can also go after that.
Okay, so this is a flashing red light. Flashing red light.
Yes.
And you can just get on a head-on collision.
Just throw it out so I didn't see it, right? It's not going to work that way.
Okay, so if that person goes to a CPA, what would you, as a professional CPA, what would you suggest this person to ratify this, and how quickly, and what would be the advice would you give to him?
So look, there's some other stuff going on with this, and they're trying to figure out if the SBA was even allowed to do this. Yeah. Going on, but we're gonna know more around March where that's going to be. But right now, don't file taxes till this is solved. Because what's going to happen? Once you're on a payment plan or you're able to get it back in the SBA, whatever way this goes, we're then going to be able to say, okay, fine, we can file our taxes because they're not going to just take everything. Right. Right? Other option is we could always file it, married filing separately, because that's another way to do it to protect that too.
Yeah.
So it's a very complicated case. And I'd be more worried about people who owe more than $200,000.
So if you owe more than $200,000, you are in deep water.
The red flag.
Yeah, beyond red flag, deep water. If it is, regardless of how much you owe, it is a serious issue.
Correct.
Okay?
It's a very serious issue.
They can go after you, your properties, and they will shorten the loan from 30 years to 10 years.
And especially if they figure out, hey, what did you do with the money? That also can stop you even using bankruptcy to get away with it. I mean, it could be very bad.
Very bad. So anybody যারা এই SBA লোন নিয়েছেন এবং পেমেন্ট করেননি এবং এখন তারা নোটিশ পাচ্ছেন, আপনাদের কিন্তু সিরিয়াসলি একজন মানে অভিজ্ঞ প্রফেশনাল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স সিপি এর সাথে বসতে হবে এবং এটার যত দ্রুত সম্ভব প্লিজ টেক কেয়ার অফ দিস। ইটস পসিবল টু টেক কেয়ার অফ ইট if you act now. It's not late. I mean, it's late from the penalties and all these things from perspective.
They're adding an extra, say, $30,000-$40,000 to it.
Which is, it's a huge issue.
Plus, you have all the interest, all that stuff. But look, the hardest thing is people are going to have is not being able to make the payment. They weren't able to make the payment before, so why would they be able to make an accelerated payment?
Correct. Okay.
So, and then we'll see after March, probably after tax season, there may be ways around this, but we'll see how
that works. Okay, let's focus on. And I have a very big uneasy feeling about this. I think a lot of people are in that shoe, and you start getting calls tomorrow. Don't be surprised, because I think this is one of those issues. I was actually anticipating that's going to happen sooner or later. People take it light, and then.
No, I knew this was eventually going to happen. They had to do something.
Yeah, it's going to be a snowball effect.
Correct.
It's rolling down the hill, and you will not be able to stop it.
Correct. And that's really what the problem is.
Serious issues. Okay. Now, let's go back to homeowners. Is the tax advantage overstated this year, right? With the high standard deduction still in effect, aren't many homeowners getting zero real benefit from the mortgage interest? Yes or no, and why?
No, it's a real benefit. It's a very real benefit. Okay? Because most people, if you look at your 1098s, which is the mortgage form you get, right? Most people have like $25,000 in interest, right? So let's start there, right? Then they have taxes, right? Then they have local and city taxes, right?
Yeah.
With that new SALT at $40,000, you're easily itemizing. I would say most people are itemizing.
Most people are. Okay. So
if you have a house.
Okay, if you have a house, right? And that should work for your benefit. And then there are other factors that brings it down drastically.
Well, it is. But it's, look, you get your standard deduction, right? So now if you want to itemize, you can have, obviously I just told you about the real estate taxes, the local tax, state taxes, right? You got all that. You got interest, right? And some people even have HELOC loans account too, right?
Yeah.
So now it's growing, right?
Yeah.
So you got all this other stuff going on.
We need to talk about the HELOCs once again. I mean, I have so many questions and so much interest about the HELOCs. I mean, I know you are laughing, but it will be an educational kind of episode, so that people know that what they're getting into.
Correct.
It sounds very rosy and sunshine.
Look, the way to look at it is a second mortgage.
It is a second mortgage.
There's no way to look at it.
Yeah, but, I mean, you get the cash, but you get strapped with the payments.
That's correct.
Yeah. All right, let's go into, I have some question about the SALT deduction, right? So SALT deduction cap is still there. I mean, it's much bigger than any other year. It's SALT.
Well, in the last couple of years.
Last couple of years, right? And so are there any limitation or limiting property taxes deduction under internal IRS rules? Are the homeowners in high tax states basically penalized, or are they going to get the maximum this year?
Look, when it was 10,000, it was definitely, everyone was getting penalized. It was huge.
10,000 till last year.
Correct. I mean, most people's property taxes, especially if you're looking around outside the city, it's over 10,000. So you're already at the cap.
Hands down.
Hands down, right?
Yeah.
But now it's 40.
Yeah.
Okay? So say your taxes are 15,000, right? So
Let's
we're at
say.
15, right?
Yeah.
So, but then also we have state, and if you don't live in the city, it's just state taxes, right? That's going to be huge. Huge for everybody, and that's why everyone's taking advantage of it. Every time I put the mortgage in, I'm seeing this refund number jump.
Flashing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is not a myth.
It's not a myth.
It's not a myth. It's a fact.
Yes.
And if you know how to deal with the numbers, go to a good CPA, you should be able to.
Yes. Now, if you have a very low mortgage balance, is it going to help you? Probably not.
Probably not. Yes.
When I say low, like, okay, 200,000.
In our community, I don't think anybody has less than $300,000
No.
left, right? I'm just,
No, absolutely, you're 100% right.
Right. This is like a overly...
But the people who are really benefiting from this
Yes.
are those high earners that have those $900,000 mortgages. Okay, because they get all that interest.
Yeah. High
Right?
interest.
High interest. I
Right.
mean, it's just like a ton of money is being shielded from taxes.
Correct. Because your principal is probably $300.
Right, but I'm saying to you, say someone has, just for argument's sake, easy numbers, right? Someone has $1 million loan,
Yeah,
right?
right.
7%, right? That's 70,000, right?
Correct.
And say their taxes are, say, 20. That means someone can make $90,000 on a W-2 and pay 0.
Can you repeat that again? I know it really sounds scary when you hear that $1 million
So you have $1 million loan.
right?
Right, and at 7% interest, right?
7% interest,
Right,
let's say.
so that's like $70,000 in interest,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that, right, and say their taxes are $20,000.
Okay.
Easy numbers, right? That means $90,000 is your standard deduction without anything else.
Just
Itemized
like that.
deduction, right? That means the first $90,000 is tax-free.
Okay. I'm not sure people are understanding this. It takes a little time to digest this, but it's huge.
Huge.
I mean,
Because the $40,000 does not include interest.
yeah.
And that's what people
So you're
don't
going to add up
understand.
those interests too, and that's going to
That's
be
what
high
I'm trying
amount.
to say. That's how I got to the 90.
Oh, that's how you got to 90, 70% plus the interest.
Right.
Interesting, really interesting. So I hope আপনারা যারা শুনছেন, you bought a house, maybe close to $1 million, maybe 7%, 8%, 9% interest rate. You have really high amount to deduct.
That's correct.
And the refund gets bigger?
Of course.
Yes. And that's the catch.
That's exactly what it should
That's
be.
the benefit, not
Exactly.
the catch. Okay. So be careful. You're not dead in the water. And this is not only this year. 2026 is going to be like this.
Yeah,
2027 is going to,
Yeah,
until
exactly,
somebody comes
because
and overwrites this tax laws.
Or brings it back to
Brings
before.
it back to the previous ones.
Or even before, and there's
Even
no
before.
limit.
No, yeah. No limit was great. I remember.
I agree.
Yeah. The $10,000, I hated it. Who did that? Biden, right? Yeah. No?
Trump.
Trump. Oh, in his last term, 2016. I remember. This guy flip-flopped so much. But you know what? At least 40 is better than 10.
I agree.
40 is better than. But 10, it really killed me. I hated it so much because it just, tied my hands behind my back. There's not much you can do.
No.
10,000 is nothing.
Nothing.
Compared to what you pay as a property taxes
Correct.
and loans.
But the rest of the country, aside from California, doesn't pay that.
Well, California is high as it is.
I'm saying aside from you have New York, California,
Yeah,
right?
right.
They're not. Forget about Chicago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the rest of the country,
Such as Florida, such as Texas.
right? All these
they have no property taxes.
$4,000.
Yeah, meager changes.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
So
Exactly.
it only impacts states that pays higher taxes and gives you higher breaks.
Those are the states he doesn't like.
Those are the states Trump doesn't like. How ironic,
Right.
And then he's from one of those blue states.
Right.
Yeah, he's from Queens, by the way.
Yeah, right where my office is.
Right.
Right where my office
exactly.
is.
How ironic is this?
Yes.
It's strange. Okay, let's go back to home care workers, right? Some people are saying they're missing out on big money. So let's talk about the home care exclusion. Many caregivers don't even know that they qualify to exclude certain Medicaid waiver payments from taxable incomes under the IRS guidance. How many people are, leaving money on the table, you think?
I think now everybody pretty much knows.
Knows. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Most people know. Look, where all the big refunds coming from? It's coming from home care. Why? Because people, when they started with either PPL or the other home cares, right? The withholdings, they didn't change, and they're huge. Huge.
Okay, so that brings me to another question. If someone did not claim the home care exclusion last year, the previous year, right, can they amend, return, and potentially receive a refund? How far can they go back?
So we can go back 3 years, not including this year.
3 years. So you haven't done it last year, you forgot.
So we got 24,
right.
23, 22.
3 years. 22,
Because
23,
April 15th
24.
isn't here yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So technically,
Yeah.
basically you can do almost 4 years.
Okay, so the general question is going to be, what are the risk or documentation requirement caregivers to that they need to understand before claiming this
Look, once you do
exclusion?
an amendment, especially this late, right, they're not going to just give you the money. Okay, they're probably going to ask for, Social security card, utility bills,
of
max addresses, proof that that the patient was the Medicaid waiver program. I mean, nothing you can't get.
Okay, Shaju Rahman, he has a question. If mortgage mortgage taken after December 15, 2017, only interest on first 750 qualifies? Do you understand the question? I don't.
He's saying that he just closed his house on December 17th of 2025, so his interest is this little.
750 qualifies.
Correct.
For the first 750 qualifies.
No, whatever you paid in December,
whatever the interest is.
Whatever you paid in December 31st, it'll be on that 1098, and that will what we can use.
Okay, one important question. It just eludes me every time I see you, and then just when you are leaving, it reminds me, and then I forget. A lot of people filed tax previously with TIN numbers. What do you tell those people now? Because now you have catch-22 with
exactly.
that. Okay, can you please explain?
Look, a lot of people did do that, right? I mean, now with what's going on,
with the immigration,
it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, but generally speaking, what would you tell them so to be safe? So to be safe.
It's not to be safe. Everyone's got a different thing going on where they are in their immigration stuff.
Correct.
So, I mean, again, everybody's different.
Right.
So depending on their whole situation, I'm going to have a different answer.
Okay, so it depends.
Yes.
It depends on, as you said, case by case.
Correct.
But you got to be very careful.
Very careful.
Very careful, because and that's one of the reasons it's like a public safety kind of thing question. Of course, CPA question, but public safety kind of question.
But everybody's different, and you have to say, okay, how is this going to impact me? Because look, at the end of the day, I don't want to be responsible for something like that happening to somebody just to file taxes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's where we are at right now. Okay. We talked about the home care exclusion. Let's talk about PCA professionals, the one that pays taxes, right? I know you are smiling. Okay. The audit risk and refund opportunity. For the PCS professional, the care services professionals, many are 1099 independent contractors. What are the biggest deduction, often they miss out, and what are the things that you would like to share your experience with them? Say that again?
They're W-2s.
They're W-2s.
Not 1099.
1099. I know it's a tax is withheld already.
Well, I'm saying to you, they're W-2s, not 1099.
Yeah, sorry, I take that back, yes.
But look, it depends who you're actually taking care of. I know I had this conversation every day with at least one client, right? Who did you take care of, right? I'm taking care of mom. If the home care agency is doing something shady,
funky,
that's their problem.
Yeah, not yours.
Exactly.
However,
could you prove that you lived in the same household? Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Because you're really taking care of your parents.
Right.
Like, that's not a big deal.
Right.
Right? Will the home care agency say they're in that program? Yeah, they'll still say it's in their program. But will they say, hey, it's you? I don't know, and I can't tell you yes or no.
Okay, so
I don't know.
There's
so much shady stuff going on with these home cares. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
So you get it. আপনারা যারা শুনছেন with the PCS or PPL, whatever it is, যখন আপনি tax file করবেন, be very careful, because there is a lot of if, but, when, what, and what not.
Well, PPL, you guys are good.
Yeah, in one shot, exclude it.
With the PCA, it depends which home care is paying you, what they're saying. And this one is very specific, is a case-by-case basis.
Okay, last question. Vehicle mileages, home offices, supplies, where does legitimate deduction end and audit risk begin?
All right, so look, obviously it's going to be with a home office deduction, right? It's really based on what you do for a living, right? It's got to be logical, right? If you're a consultant or you work from home or you're an IT person, look, a home office deduction all the way. Right? There's really, and I always tell everyone, do not put direct expenses, always do indirect.
Okay, so we're at the end of our program. Anything that you want to share with everybody who's watching?
Yes. Look, this year, it's all about going to the right person. It's no longer, I've been going to this guy for 5 years. It's about doing someone who's going to get you the best refund the correct way. And that's what everyone needs to focus. It is the most complicated tax season. And not everybody knows the rules. And you don't want to fall on the wrong side. Because guess what? You got also accuracy penalties and all this stuff. It's really important. Go to the right person, someone you actually knows what they're doing. That's what I'm going to leave everyone with that.
Michael,
of course.
Thank you again.
Yep.
And till we meet, we have many more things to discuss coming. I think we're going to meet again soon. So we will touch on, just like what we touched on, many important things that actually affects real people, real life. It could make your life easier, make your life very difficult. So I really appreciate you coming here, sharing your experience with us.
Thank you.
And then hope to see you back again in the studio. দর্শক, আপনারা যারা এতক্ষণ অনুষ্ঠানটি দেখছিলেন, আশা করি অনুষ্ঠানটি ভালো লেগেছে, অনুষ্ঠানটি তথ্য বলছিল, আপনারা উপকৃত হয়েছেন। যে কাজটি আমরা সচরাচর করে থাকি টিভিএন 24 এর হয়ে। থাকবেন আমাদের সাথে, দেখা হবে পরবর্তী অনুষ্ঠানে। শুভরাত্রি।
টিভিএন 24 টেলিভিশন দেখতে আজই কল করুন 7187776556। লগ ইন করুন www.totalcablebd.com।
নিউ ইয়র্ক থেকে সম্প্রচারিত টিভিএন 24 টেলিভিশন বিশ্বজুড়ে বাঙালির কণ্ঠস্বর।